to start the session. Welcome to our last webinar. The webinar is about joint practice development. This is the last webinar for the all school leaders who have attended the instructional leadership course. So we are going to begin the webinar, and those ones who are joining, they'll just join in. But please note, the webinar will be recorded. So if you miss or you join late, you will get the recording to listen to the whole webinar. So thank you very much for your time, availing yourself for this particular session. So to begin with, we're going to start on joint practice development. That is what we are looking for. So I hope you have listened to all the videos which we sent you. We sent you 5 videos, and you're supposed to have observed them because those videos will help us in our discussions today. So if you had watched them earlier, it will be very good because we will be reviewing them in our activities today. So in this particular session, there are some few guidelines I want to guide you. For example, when you see this particular sign, it will be showing that the facilitator is presenting. When you see this sign, I will unmute you and you can raise your hand. You can raise your hand, and when you raise up your hand, you'll be able to do something on it when you have raised your hand. Then the next one is the chat room. When you see this symbol of chat room, then you'll be able to contribute by chatting. So you can chat, and the next one is breakaway rooms. When you see this other symbol, it will be showing you that we are breaking away. Then when you see polls, you're supposed to take polls. And when you see we watch and learn, then you're supposed to watch and learn. So that is how we are going to work together as we move. So you find that in this particular session, there are some few things that we need to look at. One is we are going to look at the program on how we are going to work. And as we look at the program on how we are going to work, then you find that we'll also be looking at what is JPD. What is JPD? That is what we'll be looking at. And then we're also going to look at which conditions facilitate JPD. After that, we are going to look at how can JPD be helpful in our school. So we'll be exploring how can it be helpful in our school. And then we'll be looking at how can we use JPD to improve the quality of teaching and learning in our schools. So we'll also be exploring that. And then we will also finally be looking at what next. After this particular workshop, what next are we going to do in this particular workshop? So those are some of the things that we will be looking at, and hopefully we find that we will be able to explore as instructional leaders, what does it mean for us? At the end of the session, we are supposed to, at the end of this session, we are supposed to explore what is JPD and how can it be used to support instructional leadership. So the first one will be exploration. Next, we want to identify with practical example, how can we use it in a school environment of exploration. So we want after 90 minutes for us to be able to have realized these 2 learning outcomes. So when you talk about JPD, you are talking about steps which one has to do. So when you talk about a joint practice, you're talking one, you choose a developmental area. Like what do you want to develop in what you are doing? So you choose an area, and then the next step is you select what is it that you want to improve. For example, if I'm a school leader, I want to look at how do I know that my teachers are teaching, and that is one of the abilities of instructional leadership. So when I come here, I'll ask myself, how do I check if my teachers are teaching? So what I will do in that case, I'll select what is it that I want to find out, an aspect. My aspect is, are they teaching on time? Are they following the syllabus? Then I start to brainstorm. What can I try? What are the possible solutions I can try? Maybe I can check students' book, maybe I can check their planner. So I brainstorm. And then I also consult with the students because they are the key in our area. And then the next part is now I try to work until I'm trying to see how it's going, keep on trying. And then when I come here, I see how can I get better. And finally, what I have learned, I share with others. This is a cycle which we are going to go through as we experience. How do we go through the joint practice development? So when you talk about joint practice development, one thing is, according to Fieldings, is learning new ways through mutual engagement that opens and shares practice with each other. So it is a way in which it is opening up and allowing people to share practices with others. That is one way. The other thing about it is that it is a joint activity whereby not only one person, but one or two people, they interact and they influence each other. And the kind of influence here could be non-interactive, or it could be unilateral character, or it could be conventional sharing of good practice. So this is what we are talking about when we are talking of joint practice. What is it that we want to learn together? So you find that when you're talking about joint practice, you're talking about that particular ability to an activity that you focus on teachers' practice. And when you're talking about on focus teachers' practice, the focus is more on not what they know, but also what they want to know, because that is very, very important. Then you find that it is a development of practice. So it is a procedure. So it is a procedure because you're not just changing, it's not a switch of on and off. You're going through a process, according to Hargreave. So you are going through a process. So you find that when you're talking about joint practice, it is focused on improvement, not just moving practice from one person to the other. I don't want to change myself to Louisa or to somebody else, but it's a matter of improving in a focused way. And here we are looking at a way in which you are creating opportunities for teachers to reflect and challenge their current practice as well as challenge others. This notion of this is how we do it sometimes needs to be challenged. And we ask ourselves, is this the only way? Is there another way? What if? So we need to put on our position whereby we are forward looking, reflectively backward looking, so that we can make our forward much better in terms of how we develop. Therefore, we have what we call traditional continuous professional development, That is different because that one is based on transfer knowledge from an expert to somebody. You are being taught how to monitor by walking around. You're being taught how to support. You're being taught how to observe teacher. You're getting that skill. But when you talk about joint practice development, here it is something whereby an individual is learning from another. And slowly they are developing their practice over time. So, and that is the difference between CPD and JPD. So you find that it has three characteristics. It has three characteristics. One characteristic is it involves the interaction and mutual development of related practice. So there is a level of involvement. So it has that. Two, it recognizes that each person in this particular engagement has something to offer. And therefore, there's an element of a mutual beneficial because everybody on board has something which they can offer. And therefore, it brings that element that we can help each other because everybody has something to offer. Thirdly, it is not just happening in the air. It is entrenched and it is embedded, guided, influenced by evidence and research. So that whatever kind of decision, uptake, reflection, new practice which somebody wants to take is influenced or it's evidence-based. You're not trying, it's not a trial by error, but it is evidence-based. So some of the approaches we are going to look at today is lesson study, collaborative inquiry, and action research. So those are some of the things that we are going to look at. So I've given you in a nutshell what is joint practice development, and I've also explained the difference between joint practice development and continuous professional development. So now I want us to discuss. We are going to watch this video, which we're going to watch this video. I'm just giving a snapshot, but I'll divide you into groups and you'll watch this video. I sent this video to you.
Area model. As the lab school staff gets it.
So half of the groups are going to watch this video. So if you find yourself in an odd number group, you'll watch this video and you will discuss the question I'll give you. Then the other group.
The walkers come together for about an hour to go through the protocols. There's very strong protocols about how walkers proceed with the learning walks and visiting classrooms. And they have the discussion around what is it going to look like when we go into these classrooms? What are we looking for connected to our focus? The walkers visit the 4 classrooms. They have a little bit of a debrief between each.
So those who will be in an even numbered room, if you find yourself in an even number room, you will be looking at the second video to discuss that. So odd numbers, you'll watch the first video. Even number, you'll watch the second video. What are you going to do with the video? You will be discussing this question. How does these characteristics facilitate joint practice development? How does this characteristic? One is interaction, the other one is mutual development, the other one is recognizing that each person in the interaction has something to offer, and the other one is it is based on evidence. I want you to watch the 5 minutes video and then discuss. Somebody should be taking notes in your group because when you come back, you are going to present what you have discussed. So I'm going to break you in a group. What will happen? You'll see on your screen, it will be asking you join this group. And when you're told join this group, remember for odd numbers, you'll be watching this video. And for even number, you'll be watching this video. and you'll be trying to answer this question: how do these characteristics facilitate joint practice development? So I'm going to put you in breakaway rooms, and then we'll see how we can do. We're going to be in 18 rooms, and we'll be few people in a room, 4 to 5 people. In those rooms, please discuss. You'll only be 4. Discuss that video, then we'll come back. So I'm breaking you out now for 10 minutes to watch the video for 5 minutes and discuss for 5 minutes. Then your rooms will close. You'll come back to these main rooms. So we are breaking away. So now we are supposed to join our room and discuss the video. So this is one of our rooms. We are supposed to discuss the video. I hope you all have the video. This is room what? Room number 18. We are even number. So we are supposed to discuss the video. Do we have the video? Room members, do you have the videos? Unmute your mics. Unmute your mics and discuss the video which you have. Into different rooms. Those who have joined, and I'm assigning others. So people are going to their people are now going to their rooms, and they should be discussing the videos. But I have some 7 people who are not in the rooms, so I have to reassign.
Hello. Hi.
Yes, Hannington.
My group people don't seem to be getting whatever is going on. I'm wondering.
They are given instructions, so be there and give them the instruction. They're supposed to react on the video on learning works, which was sent to their WhatsApp.
Yeah, this is number 1. So we should be.
Abdi, please lead the room and lead the room to the activity on the videos.
Hello, I'm lost. I don't know what we are watching, and we cannot see any video.
We were sent 5 videos. We were sent 5 videos to look at. We are supposed to look at those videos and then discuss.
Hello. Uh, yes. Hello.
So we have 20 people who are unassigned. So I need to assign them to rooms. And I am assigning people to a room so that we can have many people going to a room. Now we have 15 and I'm assigning them so that all of them can be in a room. So a room which has less people, I am adding somebody. So I'm making sure that everybody is in a room to discuss a video. And then I'll bring them together. So I'm balancing the number of people. So to make sure that each room has at least 5 people. So wherever there is 4, I am putting them to where there is 5. So that's it. So everybody is in the room and I need to alert them now we have 5 minutes to finish. Finish group discussion. How is this group? I'm not hearing us talking. We're supposed to be discussing about the videos. How is this group? We're supposed to be discussing about the videos.
Hello?
We're supposed to be
I
discussing
cannot
about
see the
the video.
I cannot see any video.
We were sent videos in our WhatsApp.
Yes.
We were sent videos in our WhatsApp. Thanks, Dad. So I'm going to close the rooms now in next 2 minutes because the reason is I'm hearing people, they have not seen the video and therefore I'll take them back and we watch together because of what is happening. So in 100 seconds, we are going now to revert to the main room and continue with the activity. We now have 97 seconds and we should be coming back to our main room. So we are now coming to our main room and I'll have to share the screen again and try to replay that so that we are able to So optimize the share grid. So that's what I will do. So in 1 minute, everybody will be back into the main room, and then we'll continue. So I'm waiting now less than a minute so that everybody comes back. And then it means that we have to watch these videos together to answer that questions, because people are saying that they did not have the video. So to address that now is having us to work together.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Mzuri.
I'm not.
Yes, I'm not also hearing what is going on.
Hmm. Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm not hearing.
Hello.
Please, what is
Hello.
going on? I'm not hearing.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Bernard.
Yeah, I'm not getting from this site.
I can get you, but I can't hear the facilitator.
That is what is happening.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. We are lost.
Yes, Mutendolo.
So, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi, we're waiting for everyone to be back. Don't on. Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, umepotea?
Kabisa.
I
Hello.
cannot hear the
Chote, I'm not hearing the facilitator.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you now.
We were in different
Yes.
rooms, but it appears that we did not do our homework. So I want us to play this video. So we watch the video again together and answer the question. What characteristics can you see which are making this video happen the way they happen? Is that clear now?
Yes.
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 So I'm going to start with this video at the top.
We are waiting for the video.
You can't see it on the screen?
No, I can't see any video.
Area model.
Okay, who wants to do it? Because the lab school staff
Can you see the video on the screen?
to participate in learning
Yes, we can.
and also
Yes, we can.
really strengthens the culture of the teacher and allows a spirit of continuous learning. The lab school is located on a university campus in the College of Education. And we have a dual mission to serve the children in the school, which is currently kindergarten through grade 8, as well as pre-service teachers. Learning Walks is it gives people who are teaching in our school, as well as learning how to be teachers, the opportunity to watch other people teach, which you don't generally get because you're in your classroom teaching all the time. A learning walk is just a structured observation through a school. It's used for continuous growth and improvement. It is important that all teachers get to experience what it's like to observe other teachers' classrooms and learn from others, as well as to have teachers come in and visit and learn from them.
I really like learning walks, especially as a fairly new teacher. The perspective on what my students have experienced. It facilitates this, we're all in this together, what can we learn from each other? Some of the times the best things that are going on are happening in your own building, and you might miss them because you're doing your own thing too.
Can run at a rate of 11. Learning walks follow a pretty specific protocol. An overview of the process and set some Thanks everyone for joining our Learning Walk team today. A focus is identified for the Learning Walks, and it can be a really broad focus like teaching and learning, or a pretty specific focus like classroom management. Today's Learning Walk focus is going to be on math. We're going to be looking at the power of mistakes and struggle, rich mathematical tasks, and assessment for a growth mindset. Learning Walk participants' role is to observe what's happening and know that they're going to get an opportunity to talk about those things later, but to avoid making judgments and to reframe any kind of thinking along those lines into questions.
Did you understand Miles' answer?
Yes.
How would you know that you made a mistake?
Participants are encouraged to take notes and jot down what they observe, what they see, what they hear, and also what their questions are, things they wonder about.
It gives us a snapshot of other teachers teaching. How many do I have across here? 15. And it reminds us of, oh, they did an exit ticket. I keep forgetting to do those. I really need to pull those back in. You know, we catch those little things because we're always watching and trying to get new ideas. So the Learning Walk for teachers, I think, is really beneficial.
I do carry a timer, and I rely on that timer to keep the Learning Walk moving.
Okay, so we like to know about your experience on the breakaway session. So I will quickly allow you to ask yourself about the breakaway experience on the activities. Can you say what you agree with on that particular poll? There's a poll showing there, which is asking you about the activity.
Involvement of interaction, mutual development.
Don't read aloud, please. Just
Mute them.
Please take that particular poll. There's a poll showing there, and there are questions asking you, when you watch that video, were you able to identify that? So let's take that poll quickly.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. So 20 people have taken, we are 83, so 84. We need to take the survey, all of us.
I'm about to submit.
Yes, just take all the questions. Once you finish, if you see a button saying submit, you click on that particular button.
It's not responding, the submit.
It should respond.
Mine
It should respond. If it's not responding, it's an issue with the net. So 42 people have answered. We are waiting for at least out of 83, we have 65, so that we have a good threshold. 44 have taken the poll. We are in class. We are in class, please.
Class at home.
Allow me to mute everybody for now, Dr. G.
Yes, but the next activity I'll unmute everybody because we'll be discussing.
Okay.
We have 50 now. We are waiting at least to reach 82. We are 80 to 60%. Please take the poll. Take the poll. How was your experience when you're observing the video? Are you able to? 50 have answered. 51 now. 53. 55. Let's take the poll. 56 have done it. 56 now. Let's take the poll and finish so that we have a good threshold. It's only 67% now. If we reach 70%, then we'll proceed. Mm-hmm. 58 now, almost 70%. I'm going to close the poll in the next minute. I will be closing the poll in the next minute. The poll will close in the next half minute. The poll is closing in 15 seconds. We have reached 73%, which is a good threshold, and it is a representative of our experiences. And the poll will be closing in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so thank you for the polls. So that is what we did, and you can see 11% strongly agree, 39%, 64% agree, not sure is 8%, disagree is 2%. And for the next question, we have 67 as agree, the highest. And the last one is 40. So we have around 50% who are able to identify what was going on in the poll. So we are going to proceed. And as we are proceeding, we now want to open for everybody to reflect. We want somebody to say something. I'm going to unmute, and can somebody say, we want 3. How did you see these particular characteristics? Anybody to share? We are inviting you to share. We are all unmuted. We are all unmuted, and we'd like you to share. How did you see these characteristics in the video you observed? Anybody? You can also text the response.
Where are we sharing now? We are to share.
You can talk, tell me. What did you see in the video? Somebody was asking, where are you sharing? Can you speak out and tell us? When you are watching this video, for those who watch the video, did you see the characteristics? Did you see the involvement of mutual development of practice? Did you see that
Yes.
everybody was being counted? Tell me more. Yes, tell me more about that. Yes.
I would like to say that there was a lot of bonding among the teachers.
What else?
And owning the whole process together.
Mm-hmm.
Because later on they went back to discuss, I think in the staff room or somewhere, discussing each of the learners.
Okay.
And maybe trying also to look on how to improve later.
Okay. Thank you very much. Somebody else? Somebody else? Somebody saying no voice. Check your machine. Somebody, thank you very much.
Each of them also give.
Yes.
Each of them also gave their views, showing that every teacher had something to offer about whatever they had observed.
Okay. Thank you very much. We had a gentleman and a lady. Thank you very much. The others, if you have a point, you can now type your point in the chat. We are going to proceed. So you find that when you're talking about joint practice development, we now want to reflect. What interests you in this whole practice? I'm unmuting you. Can somebody say, now that you have seen the joint practice, what interests you? Yes?
I was very much interested in the teamwork.
Why did you like the
very
teamwork?
much This is because when they were observing the lesson, they acted as a team. Each person took his own part.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Somebody else? All these videos are in your phone because they were sent through WhatsApp. All the videos are sent to you through WhatsApp. Somebody else? Somebody else? What interested you? What interested you? Can you type in the chat? Can you type in the chat what interested you? Can you type in the chat what interested you? And the next question I'd like to ask you is, what did you find challenging? Can you type that in the chat? And the third question is, what might you find useful in your context? So we all are able to type at the same time. So go to the chat, just type your response. We have 3 questions. The first question is, what did you find interesting? Second is, what did you find challenging? And the third one, what might be useful in your contexts? So just type there the reflections. We are now quiet. We all have our devices. So in your device, just type in answer those 3 questions. Yes, planning could be a challenge. Thank you, Winnie Washira. Titus is saying each one had a chance to contribute. Thank you. Let's type in what we found. We answered those 3 questions. Go to the chat, and in the chat, type in your response. Go to the chat and type in your response. Go to the chat. Somebody has said there was interaction and mutual development. Somebody has said working together as a team is very productive. Somebody has said planning might foster time to contribute. Each was given time to contribute. Somebody has said planning might foster some challenge. What was interesting was that each member had a chance to share their opinion. Good. Somebody has said the interaction and good involvement to everyone. No judgmental attitude, purely to learn purpose, excellent from Esther. So let's see some more. This is your chance to share your personal reflection. This is very individual.
Mr. Maina.
Yes, please.
Where is the chat where we are typing?
If you look at your screen, you will see somewhere of chatting. You'll see chat.
C-H-A-T, I can see it.
Yes, click on it.
Then I click on it. It
Then
doesn't
down
give me.
there, yeah, you can type.
Okay, let me look, see.
So we have 2 more minutes to finish our reflection. Because we are sharing on how does joint practice development. Feedback session was good during reflection. As a recap, all members participated. That's good. From Gladys Kemunto. Thank you. All worked as a team. Winnie Washira, again, the feedback is evidence-based since teachers are getting feedback from the pupil. Excellent. Thank you, Winnie. Joyce Kinanu Gatobo is saying teamwork. That is good. Regina is talking about helps in reflecting on what was seen. Good for backward looking and reflection. Thank you, Regina. Francis Mudaura is saying all participated. The whole activity was lively. That's good. Patricia says a very relaxed atmosphere for learning. Catherine is saying relaxed environment where each felt. Samson say interesting, creating an active environment. So thank you very much for your reflection. That is interesting. So we are going to move on. And as we move on, we want to think about the conditions. What makes JPD to work? There are some conditions which make JPD to work. And what is it that somebody had messed my screen? I need to clean it so that we are able to see properly. So we want to see what conditions makes JPD to work. So one of the things that makes JPD to work is the culture of collaboration. That element of witch hunting is not there. We believe in collaborative inquiry, and there is trust between the staff and the leadership. If you go to visit somebody, hata sema huyu ananionea, hii ni witch hunting, there is clarity, transparency on the level of engagement. The second condition is that you are challenging your practice. You are sharing your idea. You are engaging in rigorous evidence-based debate. And you are willing to try something new. And that new is not just happening. You have collaborated, you have engaged, and you are trying something with the room of risk-taking and also learning. So it happens in an environment which is very enabling. So these are the conditions for JPD to be successful in your school. If you don't have this, it cannot work. So you find that what research says, one, it says that high-performing jurisdiction, where there is a lot of collaboration between the teachers, we have collaborative planning, lesson planning. So teachers are able to plan lesson. Here, we find that time is set aside, maybe on a Friday afternoon, all teachers sit and they plan a lesson. We can also have, they are supported by experts. So maybe the curriculum support officers also support them when they are planning together to bring in ideas on how to make it better. We also have a map whereby it is showing this is where you are, this is where you'll go, this is where you go. So there is a progression. You can see where you are and you can see where you wish to go, because if you don't know where you wish to go, then the kind of effort you'll be putting might be hampered because you don't have clarity of where you are heading. So there's clarity of, I'm in this level, I would like to improve in 1, 2, 3, and this is my developmental pathway to move to the development or to be at mastery level. Then, for example, in China, they have study groups. whereby a group of teachers sit together and they look at their timetable. It is planned in a way whereby they group a lesson together and then they go and observe. They plan together and one of them will teach and they'll observe, meaning that we are observing our lesson being taught. So then the way we will make our judgment is more objective because it was our lesson. So we are looking how it was developed and we are going to review. So those are two cases which happen in Hong Kong and in China. Similarly, you find that we can still learn that the high performing areas is whereby teachers focus on developing their subject expertise. So when teachers are working hard to develop their subject expertise, then you find that in that situation, for example, in Ontario, we have teacher learning and leadership program. We have 591 projects, 61% of them are single subject specific. I want to improve in CRE. I focus on how I'll improve in that. And then we found that the evaluation shows that the impact of participating schools, those schools who are doing joint practice development, they were doing very, very well. Similarly, in Singapore, they have subject-based network of learning community. So we have maths teachers together, we have language teachers together, we have science teachers together, and these teachers, they work in what we call network learning circles. So in these circles, they're supposed to try something, share, and see their growth. So this is just an example of what literature is doing to make us succeed in whatever we are doing. So what is the difference between joint practice development and continuous professional development? Can you type your answers in that particular chat? What is the difference? Please type your answer. What is the difference between CPD and JPD? Let us type our answer based on what we have heard, what we have seen. What is the difference?
Where am I supposed to record?
You're supposed to type on the chat. What is the difference between JPD and CPD? I can see Catherine Gikuhi has said there is collaboration in JPD unlike CPD. Thank you, Catherine. I can also see CPD may just involve one person working individual, while JPD involves a team. Thank you very much, Winnie. Nashon. And Winnie is saying CPD is individualized. Thank you, Winnie, for that. Huntington is saying CPD may have a perspective of individual growth, whereas JPD is collaborative. Thank you, Huntington. Please don't call yourself Oppo F3. You can change the name. If you click on your picture, you can says that JPD enables team practice, love, mutual trust. Catherine talks about JPD enhances teamwork. Thank you very much. Okay, that is good. So I'll ask the next question. And what do you think has the greatest potential impact, JPD or CPD? So there the answer should only be one. Which do you think has the greatest potential impact? Oh, good, 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 good. Okay, thank you. I can see what you're saying. Thank you very much. And the last question is, what about costs and flexibility? Which one is fairable and affordable to do between the two? Here we are looking about, what about costs?
CPD. Practice development. CP. GP.
Somebody is saying CPD is cheaper. CPD is whereby we are all attending a workshop and we are being taught. Somebody is saying joint is cheaper. Okay, that's good. So we have a mixed feeling. JPD is affordable because teachers work together. Thank you very much. JPD focuses, okay. Great, JPD is affordable. Thank you very much. Somebody saying it's affordable. Thank you very much. Okay, okay, that is good. So we are going to move on, and now we want to look at practicality. We have defined what is JPD. We have explored which one is better. Now we want to see it in practice. How does it happen in practice? So you'll find that I want you to watch this video. We are watching it together. It's about a lesson study.
Using lesson study to plan lessons is a really powerful way to bring teachers together to help them think about lessons in a way that they can't do on their own. So when a teacher's sitting at home on Sunday night planning a lesson, they don't have the time to spend 3 hours on one lesson. But lesson study really allows the teacher to sit with colleagues, to reflect on one specific lesson in time, and use that as an opportunity to grow their thinking about teaching and learning.
It empowers teachers to really take charge and ownership and responsibility for their own professional learning. And it's all based on what they feel like they need to improve and get better at. And that is driven by what they see happening with their own students. Another aspect of lesson study that makes it very powerful is the focus is on the learning and the learner, not on the teacher. And that is such a safe place for teachers to really learn and share and grow from one another. And that whole idea that we are going to work on a lesson, it's going to be the best lesson we can prepare, knowing what we know right now, and we're going to try it out. And we're going to spend the time really collecting data on the students. And then we're going to come back and analyze that data, and we're going to see what in the lesson worked. And what in the lesson might we need to do differently to get our desired result or outcome?
The lesson study cycle has 3 distinct phases. The first phase is the lesson planning session. The second phase is the observation and data collection session. Finally, the third phase is the data analysis and debrief session.
Okay, so we have listened that, so I'd like you to type in the chat room. You type in the chat, what is your big takeaway about lesson study? Type it in the chat room. What is your big takeaway in the lesson study? What is your big takeaway from what you have heard about lesson study? Type it in the chat room. What is your big takeaway? Okay, Huntington has said that biggest takeaway on lesson study is that it focuses on the learning and the learner. Excellent. Judy is saying that it involves teamwork and it's learner focused. Thank you. Lydia Kaduri talks lesson plan should be done in a group. Thank you. What are you taking away? Techno is saying it empowers teacher. Thank you. Nation is saying it is improving from experience to other team members. Thank you. Margaret is saying Oh, yes, they are coming in so many. Good. Okay. Lesson study focuses on learning and learner empowers teachers. Great. When teacher focus on particular learner, great. So I can see we are having a lot of takeaways from our lesson study. Excellent. Learner from one another, learn from one another, excellent, empowers teachers, shares experience. That's great. That is great. Teachers take charge, allows teachers to give one specific lesson at a time. Knowledge is shared. There is mutual benefit. Excellent. Okay, that is great. So we have taken away something from this, and which is very, very important. So as leaders, we need to put in place structures. Good, good, good. So let us proceed. Now, when you're talking about lesson study, I'll now delve deeper a bit about lesson study. We're talking about a cycle whereby we have the first, whereby we have to identify what are the specific needs which we want to address. Then at this particular point, before you go to stage 2, this is where you brainstorm, you do a research, and you find out, for example, how do I support my learners in mathematics? So there is a specific area which you are looking at. Then from there, you go to the second level. And this is where you sit down and you develop the class. And as you're developing this class, you are looking at how am I going to collect data? How will I know that it was taught? How will I know that learning was happening? How will I check the learner's performance? Then between going to stage 3, you now sit, you pre-plan and post lessons in sequence. So you do lesson 1, lesson 2, you know how these lessons are going to go. And you also do students grouping, exploratory lessons, and you can also record your lessons. So that when you reach at level 3, this is where one person among the 4 or 5 or 6 of you who plan the lesson, they teach or they co-teach, and the other ones, you observe what your teacher is doing. You are observing a lesson where you planned together. It is being taught by one of you. And then between the level 3 to level 4, you reflect after the lesson. You reflect, you will say what could be changed, how can we improve? And then when you go to level 4, you debrief. You now sit down and you say, maybe we need to add more activities. Maybe the kind of questions we ask in class should be deep. And you are making these suggestions based on what you have observed. So the suggestions are evidence-based. The suggestions are based on what you observe. So this is the cycle of a lesson study. So then before you go back, you review the lesson and you do it again. So you'll go around until you find that you have done all the lesson. So I want us to watch this video, and we are watching this video. There's a question at the top here, which is asking you, how would you enhance lesson study as an instructional leader? How will you make it possible? Because here we are given an opportunity to see how it happens. So the question is, how would you enhance lesson study in your school? Let's go.
It is a process whereby teachers as a team collaborate, develop a lesson that one of those people in the team volunteers to teach, and it's taught, it's observed by the other people in the team. The team comes back, has a discussion around it, what worked, what didn't work, what they think might need to be changed. And then another volunteer from that group reteaches the same lesson with its adjustments to a different group of children. And then the observation and discussion is had again around that. The team leaders were the first people to do the lesson study and be the person to teach the lesson. And that way everybody felt it was okay. Lesson study is a very non-judgmental strategy to use. It's not about the teacher because the lesson is developed as a team and it is a team effort. So it's around the strategy itself. It's not the teacher. It's not individualised. We're not looking at the teacher. We're looking at the strategy. We're looking at the things that are happening in classrooms to improve student outcomes.
First, the students are really scared because they've got other teachers coming in the classroom. They feel really overwhelmed and think that all the teachers are there for them. So basically what we usually do before we do our lesson study, scaffold the students and remind them that lesson study is basically not to observe the students. It's basically us and other teachers visiting the classroom to think of ways of how we can improve student learning.
Our aim today is to look at self-directed, student self-directed learning in stage 3.
Like Jen said, it is SOLs, so it's self-organised learning environments. So it's very student directed. So they've got a big question that they're researching and answering. They organise their own groups and at the end they present one fact that they've found and then reflect on their learning in the group.
As observers, we don't interfere with the natural process of the lesson. We don't talk or carry on a sidebar conversation during the lesson. We can circulate around the room when the children are engaged, but not when it's a teacher and class situation. We stand to the back and the sides, and it's about the goals of the lesson. It's not about Amanda's teaching or Amanda. It's about the goals of the lesson, what's happening in the lesson, and what we can see from there. And of course, we're embedding all of those things that we've been talking about and learning about in professional learning.
Why is SOLs important? Why are those skills important? I know you all came up with your own success criteria. You've got them on your checklist. Hands up, you can give me one example of something that they put for their success criteria.
I think it went well. They love SOLs. They're very engaged with it. You can see that they self-organise. So I think they're just so engaged with the process, and you can see that they're connecting the skills, they're connecting the success criteria, and they're doing that in other subjects as well now. So it's nice to see a class that can self-regulate their learning.
Worked well, and there wasn't any behaviour problems. Everybody was on task, and in the end they did produce some good, relevant information.
Jalal, do you just want to give us a brief rundown on what's going to happen today?
Okay, so students in 5-6A and 5-6C have been undertaking learning using the SOL model in order to develop their critical and creative abilities within the ICT capability. We all came together after Amanda did her first lesson study, and we realised that to change it for my lesson study, we'll do a buddy class. So Amanda did her SOL with her class. My class is a buddy class. So mine is half of 5-6A and half of 5-6C. What we're going to do today is continue our SOL session that we worked on yesterday. You'll all be presenting your information to the whole class, so make sure each one of you has something to present, and you record and share your findings at the end. Okay, so you can start your SOL session, and also don't forget to put up your vocab and your websites, please. You will have 20 minutes, so keep an eye on the timer. You can move around the room or sit on the floor wherever you like. You can start now.
One of the things about lesson study is that, you know, you teach, you change what needs to be changed, and then you reteach. And we've done that today. And you talked about the reteach being how you changed it up. Can you just refresh us on that one?
So the reteach of Amanda's lesson study was Amanda conducted her SOL session with her class, whereas for my session, we changed it up with students from 5-6A and 5-6C. So we halved our class up roughly, and we called it the buddy class, and that was a strategy that we adopted from the SOL program when we were doing our program there. The reason why we did that is just to challenge the students. We found that the kids, while they were doing it in our class, were always going in the same groups. We thought, let's see how the dynamics change if we buddy them up with different students and challenge them. I believe the lesson went really well. I think our outcome was achieved. All the kids were engaged, all of them were on task.
all of them completed everything that they needed to do in their success criteria.
I really think that the learning intention was really nailed. And if we really look at the learning intention, which was to work collaboratively, locate, analyse, summarise and evaluate sources using technology, it's that broad concept of learning intention. So looking at learning intentions, I think was really great.
Difficulties is mainly the pressure of it. We know that teachers across the school are there to support us, but it is quite nerve-wracking thinking that you're going to have a group of teachers coming in and viewing your lesson. However, the first few times we did it, we realised that it's constructive. No one's there to give you negative feedback or say that you're not teaching well. It's really a great tool to become a more proficient teacher.
Lesson study has allowed us to see how our professional learning and the strategies that we're talking about and learning to improve student outcome, it allows us to see how it's been embedded in classrooms. And because we do it K to 6 and because we share across stages now, it allows all of us to see how it's been embedded, but it also gives us lots of ideas that we can actually take and modify to use in our own classroom.
Okay, there we are. So how would you enhance this to happen in your school? As a school leader, what can you do to make this happen? I've seen, we are now 66, we have lost 20 people. I don't know where they have gone. It's not break time yet. So they need to come back. One person has said emphasize on teamwork. That's good. Agatha Wagushu is saying encourage planning together and be a team player. Huntington is saying create conducive environment and reassure the teacher that it's not all about their teaching, but the learner, the learning and the learner. Thank you, Huntington. Charles is saying emphasize that it's all about the learner and the learning. Nation is saying make a regular activity. Winnie talking about setting outcome for student excellent. Bishop Makia is saying sensitize all the teachers. So we are looking at, we want in our schools, all this, Regina is talking about appreciate and encourage group reporting. So we are talking about what we can do as instructional leaders, and this is excellent. Joyce Kanan is saying motivate teachers, emphasis on teamwork. Anthony Maore, provisional learning material. Patrick Wambua, review work regularly. Mr. Kamau may upgrade peer teachers, good. Nicholas Mutwiri, creating peer groups, and Catherine Gikuhi is saying build teachers' self-esteem to accept feedback. Excellent. So we are going to proceed, and I think this is a wish list. This is what we like all our schools to be. And I don't know where the 20 people have gone. They need to be in class because we are 63 now. So thank you for all that. Now I like to talk about collaborative inquiry and action research. Collaborative inquiry and action research are also approaches which can be used for learning. So when you're working with colleagues and you want to investigate an issue, maybe you find that grade 3 are having a problem in a particular area, then you can focus and explore what is the current situation, and then you start reviewing their books to see where they are. Then after that, now you start reflecting and gathering evidence to inform future improvement. So you are researching, and you are also finding out how best you can work on this. So I want to ask all of you, what are the benefits of collaborative learning? Can you type, what are the benefits of collaborative learning? What are the benefits of collaborative learning? Let's share. Provide deeper understanding, somebody has said. Sharing experiences, sharing best practice. Jacqueline Aminga, thank you. Anthony Maore, there is uniformity in learning, learning from each other. Excellent. I have benefits of collaborative learning. Let me hear more. People learn from each other. Everyone is involved. Okay, it is inclusive. Builds on each other's base ideas. It enhances expertise, results in higher, ideas are well shared. Thank you very much. Okay, so let us compare what we have written as our answer and what this video is going to share. So let's compare what we think is benefits and what this video is going to share. Collaboration is key. That's what we have been reminded. And if you didn't see the video properly, check in the 5 video I sent. There's one which is talking about collaboration. So we are coming to the end of the session. And before we finalize, we want to ask you, how was this session? So you give us a feedback, and I'm going to launch a poll, and I want you to answer, how was this session? There are questions there which you'll see. How was the session? I hope you can all see the poll. How was the session? So let's take this poll. It is showing on your screen. There are questions asking you, and this is very personal, very individual, asking about the challenges you had. What are you taking away from this particular session? So let's take the poll about this particular session. I am following the chat. If you have any issue, you can type on the chat. I saw Huntington was saying sometimes I unmute. I have unmuted.
Yes, Daktari.
Yes.
I'm unable to see the poll.
Oh, it's there on your screen.
No, it's not there.
The website has 4 approaches that could be developed.
It's there. Check your screen properly.
Which is the last.
Have you seen it? Huntington, have you seen it? People have taken the 16, 17 people, 18 people has taken 19. We are now 64. There are 20 people who went for break. They never came back. We have 25 people who have answered, and others are writing on the chat, which is good. Washira said it was an eye-opener, very detective, very wonderful, but one need to prepare early. Of course, we need to prepare. Even us, when you are your student, you want us to prepare before we come to class. That is important. Some people have realized we are coming to an end. They are coming back to class, those who had gone for break. I'm seeing my numbers going up again. So 29 have answered. That is very good. Don't worry, Joseph. Yeah, sometimes connectivity is a problem. Even for myself, I'm stepping on my wire so that I don't have issues with connectivity. So we are all going through. Huntington is saying, I can't see the poll. Let me simply opine that every webinar is a learning journey. Thank you very, very much, Huntington. Thank you very much. We are at 32, 33, excellent. So we have 2 more minutes. Toscoms has raised your hand. Can you say, please, Toscoms? I'm going to unmute you and tell me what you are saying, Toscoms. Toscoms is raised his hand. Yes, Toscom, what are you saying?
Thank you, facilitator. I had a problem with connectivity, but now I'm through. Unfortunately, I cannot locate the poll.
The poll is on the screen. It is showing on the screen. Can you see can you see a question? How was the session down there?
Yep, let me check, sir.
On your screen, check if you can see how was the session. Judy Gashia is saying today was super for me. Thank you, Judy. Frida is saying at least my first time I enjoyed. Thank you. Joyce Kananu, very educative. That is good. Oh, my class is becoming bigger now. We are now 70. My students are coming back. So the polls, we have reached 38. Please don't leave, we have not finished. Mr. Kamau Galaxy is raising his hand. Mr. Kamau, let me check what you're saying. Mr. Kamau, where are you? Luisa, can you see Mr. Kamau Galaxy? You unmute him so that he says what he's saying. Mr. Kamau, please, what are you saying?
Mr. Kamau, I've not heard Mr. Kamau.
Yes, I'm here, madam.
Yes, what are you saying? Your hand is raised.
Yeah, the session was very, very entertaining. I got a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So I think now we have 39. We are still at 59%, 60. That is not still having a threshold. That cannot be a representative of our family. We need 65 and above. So only 40 people have taken the poll. I'll give you 1 more minute because I can't trust the data if they're not at threshold. So I'm at 60%. If I can get 4 or 5 more people to finish their voting, then we will get a clear perspective of where we are heading. Hey, Bishop McKay is saying, imagine today was my first time to join and I have really enjoyed. We are going to offer so many of these programs in short bursts, so do not worry. Regina is saying both PC and phone in use. Thank you, Regina. I hope that's our CD. And Francis, for the first time, I've really enjoyed. However, there was a problem with the connection. Yeah, it is always there. We are at 62%. Please, can you finish the poll so that we reach our 65% threshold? Beatrice Nzau is saying the session was good and audible. Thank you very much. Okay, and then we are at 62. Please finish the poll so that we can have the last activity, which is looking at the way forward and what next. But I'm reading very nice. And do not forget, even if you missed a part of this, it is recorded and you will get it through YouTube. You can play at your own time, pause, rewind, forward, and listen clearly. So it is not a lesson missed, even if you are disconnected somewhere, you will still have an opportunity to listen to all this. And again, all the 5 videos we have, they are there in WhatsApp, so you can still review them now that you have a perspective of what we are talking about, and that will help you. We are at 63%, 65 now. Thank you very much. I think we are going to end the poll, and I'll quickly share the poll on the screen. We see the results. If we walk through, you can see problems, of course, logging in, 14%, internet connection, 51%, could not connect, interaction feature, 21%, sound wasn't clear, 33%. Yes, people, this is good. They have an opportunity to learn, and we can see they have understood, that's good. And then they are going to implement extremely well. And so thank you very much for this. So we are going to the tail end of this, and this is where now we get some homework. So you find that our next steps is we still have one reflection workshop. And that reflection workshop, we are going to tell you when we are having to reflect. And based on how things are, it seems like we are going to do the reflection workshop online. And that reflection workshop, you'll come back here and showcase what you have been doing. So it will be a critical program. And just to caution, you cannot graduate if you do not attend the reflection workshop. In this reflection workshop, you come prepared. We need to see your reflection journals. How have you been reflecting as an instructional leader? We want to see your session plans. How have you been looking at observing, meeting notes? We want to see the learning objects your teachers have been developing. We want to see the evidence of learning. How do you know that students in your school are learning? That is very, very important. We'll also want you to come and present the 9 abilities of instructional leadership. Each of the ability, you show us evidence on how you have improved on all the 9 abilities. So ladies and gentlemen, this session was 90 minutes and I've taken 1 hour and 29 minutes. And this 1 minute is reserved for Louisa to give her closing remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Gyoko. That was quite an interesting and interactive session. Despite the challenges everyone has faced, we will definitely, as usual, share the recordings so that if you missed out, you can be able to follow on. We will share also the quiz so that once you watch again, you can answer the questions. And I think, I'm not sure if Dr. Gyoko mentioned the timing so that we can shut.
That's the last one, yeah. That's the last one. After your remarks, that one comes in.
Okay, all right. So thank you for making the time to join. We had a good turnout today. I'm quite happy. At some point, we were 90 people. Right now, we've gone down to 67, but majority were there for the better part of the webinar. This is our last one for the instructional leadership. We have had 2 already. So we finished the cycle of 3 webinars that were scheduled in the course. However, it's not the end of learning. If you feel like there's something that you wish us to repeat, please speak up in the forums and we will be able to organize sessions. Right now, that the only form of learning is online. I saw our director on the call. Dr. Regina, I'd like to give you a moment to also say something. Then Dr. Gyoko will take back the stage. Daktari, director, are you here?
Can you unmute her?
I'm looking for her. I'm not seeing her. No, I can see you.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm looking for Regina at the PC. I told you I had both my PC and my phone on.
Okay.
So if one failed, I turned on the other. So
That's
now
excellent.
I'm on my phone.
That is excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy that you found time to engage all of us. The turnout was good. We want to assure you that as the Kiambu team, we will always support this because it's for our good. We don't take it for granted. Thank you very much. I know time has run out, but we'll hope to continue learning together.
Thank you very much.
Was I communicating?
Yes, Doc, we heard you clearly. Thank you very much. So now,
Asante.
The last activity is we are supposed to write down what we have taken away and what we intend to implement. Do not worry about the dates because they can change, but we want to see your ideas on how you want to implement. So we are giving you up to the 1st of May. Down there you can see in yellow, take a photo of that. That is a Google form, and we are going to submit, we are going to give you a printed one, which you can use to plan. But once you have planned everything, you go to this one, https://tinyurl.com/JPD replicable. Then you transfer what you have written by hand and you enter into this. This will give us a broadsheet of what we are planning to do. So just now after this call, we are going to post to you a PDF one. That one is just to guide you to see what are the kind of questions you are being asked. We are actually asking you, what are you taking from here? What will you implement? How will you implement it? So we want a progression. Dr. has just talked about, we are continuing. So please copy what is down there. We are going to post it in our groups. And I would like to thank everybody. I'm seeing you are active in the groups. Let's continue because #LearningNeverStops is live. We need to continue, and I wish you well. Be safe, follow the directions of how we are being told to be safe, take care, and pray that we shall meet all of us after COVID-19. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Daktari.